surveys and through focus group discussions with international talents residing in Germany and in Denmark, as well as their families, family members that accompanied them to Germany. So we took this information and we've tried to systemize this knowledge a bit. And we have grouped those main factors into two areas, which you can see on this slide. We have the systemic areas where we grouped different sub areas, including the collection of information and data, the coordination, support, and structures of different stakeholders working in the field of talent management, of labor mobility and social inclusion, and the 5 thematic areas that Nona briefly touched upon in the previous slides. We're looking at the opportunities for professional development and opportunities, the well-being of international talents, family support they receive, the digital ecosystem, bureaucracy, language training and learning, and access to residency. So the recommendations in the systemic area, highlighted in blue and green, they're a bit more of setting the framework and addressing the overarching systemic structures and practices in a country, while as you can see, the thematic areas are a bit more of personal relevance. They're of course intertwined and interdependent. So interventions that are proposed in this framework may be needed in multiple areas to maximize retention. So just briefly looking at next slide. The systemic areas, I hope this is not too abstract. As Nona said, we have our documents, our products of the project at our booth, and there are a bit more tangible, actionable recommendations outlined in the documents. So for the systemic area, we're looking at the topics of coordination, support, and structures, which refers a bit to the national, local coordination mechanisms among stakeholders, structures that exist, general policy challenges. And what we found is that coordination here is at the forefront. Very important that actors really work together. Then we're looking at collecting information, which is crucial for optimizing measurements that are being undertaken to gain insights into the dynamics and enable stakeholders to really make evidence-based and data-driven decisions, and programming, taking into account the needs and the challenges of international talents. And last but not least, under the systemic areas, we're looking at access to information and services, meaning the targeted provision of information to international talents and their families, providing targeted support that is needed throughout the journey coming to Germany. And right over to Nona again.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, and you go back to the
All right. Okay. Are we still here? I know it's afternoon. You are probably all tired. But let me tell you about some topics that we have already talked about also today that are super important when it comes to being attracted to stay in a country like Germany. Of course, we touched upon this topic a lot today, language training and learning. Um, we have We know, of course, that learning a local language is one of the biggest hurdles for many migrants. And let me be honest with you, especially when it comes to German is not the easiest language, but it's absolutely doable. For this, and the recommendation is, of course, before traveling to the country to already start with language courses, because what is better than when arriving to the destination country that you're already able to speak. And another point that comes hand in hand with language is well-being and family factors, family support. I don't know if you heard in the last presentation before lunch, it was mentioned that well being and mental health is sometimes not mentioned, but very important. And let me tell you, as a psychologist myself, I would like to dive deeper into the critical role of family well being when it comes to migrant retention. Of course, research always shows that migrants' decision to stay in a new country is closely tied of how well their family adjusts to this new environment. It's not just about the migrants' professional success, but also about creating a sense of stability and belonging for the entire family. Let's think about the stress that a family faces when moving to a tree. Some of you might have experienced this already, maybe when moving to a different city or county, what kind of different levels of stress it brings. Of course, spouses do often need support when it comes to finding jobs or continue their education. Children must adapt to new school system, and social circles. And of course, all of these factors are challenges. And when these challenges are not addressed, it can lead to dissatisfaction, isolation, and ultimately the desire to leave that country. So, of course, we must offer comprehensive support that extends beyond the individual migrant and its career growth. And of course, this includes factors like childcare, mental health counseling, health services, educational resources for children. Um, and this is why family support isn't just a nice to have. I think it is important to understand that it is essential. When the entire family is well settled, it contributes directly to the migrants' well-being, to be productive and to commit to long-term stay in their new home. And as we all know, professional development and opportunities play a big role. Of course, we want to, as an example of this, could be networks between local businesses and migrants having exchange within each other, offering workshops, internships to help bridge any gaps for new career growth. Digital ecosystems, bureaucracy. I don't know if anyone of you already have faced, but let me tell you, German has complex administration and bureaucracy. Digitalization in Germany is still, we're taking baby steps, but this is one of the reasons why having and working on one-stop online portals where you in different languages, not only in German, can handle bureaucratic task easily reduces, of course, stress and helps individuals settle in faster. And last but not least, residency and branding. Um, Maybe you can think of it in a way of it is not only about providing jobs. It's about promoting a place, a home where you want to live and see your family in the longer term, for yourself, for your kids, for your family. I think saying this, we can go forward to one area that we call the talents journey. So what does that mean? Let's take a look. Starting from the country of origin, what would be the country of origin here is Kenya. So in Kenya, um, the consideration and preparation phase already begins. What questions do you ask yourself in these phases? In the consideration phase, this is the stage where migrants begin to consider their options, right? So you ask yourself, is this the right move? What opportunities await for me in this new country? Or maybe other countries are considered. So during this phase, which is the phase you are probably right now in, factors like job prospects, quality of life, and long-term stability heavily in your decision. Looking further into the preparation phase, this is the second phase. On the decision is made. Your decision is made to come to, let's say, for example, Germany, and your preparation begins. We heard a lot today. Research and preparation is very, very important when migrating to a new country. Migrants start arranging their paperwork, preparing for life in a new country, and often acquires skills like language training, certifications, and these things are, of course, the most important for a smooth transition. In the third step, we are already in the onboarding phase. So this phase covers the initial arrival in the new country. Here it's all about settling in, finding housing, adjusting to the new culture, and starting the new job. At this stage, guidance and support are, of course, crucial from all the stakeholders, ensuring that you don't feel lost or overwhelmed. And of course, the topic of integration and social inclusion, where we will touch upon again today, it's beyond simply working. Migrants and every other individual needs to feel integrated in their new home, in their society. Social inclusion plays therefore a major role, helping build social networks, engage with local communities, and access services like healthcare and education. This is one of the biggest factors that actually tends to long-term retention. And then I also want to give you the the thought that we don't like to think about at the beginning of a migration phase or in the consideration phase. This is the reconsideration phase, number 5. So after some time, it is normal that migrants may reach a point where they reconsider their future. Do I want to stay here long term? Is this the country truly my new home? And how well you've integrated socially and professionally during earlier phases will, of course, largely impact whether you'll stay or consider moving again. And coming to an end, I hope this was not too boring for you, but this is just for you to understand that attraction, retention, and inclusion are all interconnected. To truly succeed, we need to think about all of these factors together. Um, and and factors that make a country attractive also help with retention. So a holistic approach is key when we ensure that individuals are supported across multiple areas through coordinated efforts from employers, governments, and communities. We can create an environment where everybody feels valued and engaged. Um, Thank you very much. To wrap up, it's clear that successful retention goes beyond offering a job. It's about fostering social inclusion and a sense of belonging. And now I would like to invite my colleague Patty to take us deeper into the discussion of holistic integration and how we can make sure that migrants thrive in their new environment. Thank you.
Habari ya mchana. Jamani, habari ya mchana. Poleni sana. I know it's very difficult to be in an afternoon session, and I will try to keep it as short as possible. I'm not sure I could give you all the answers to how you will integrate, but I thought through very short slides. Sijui hapa tuna DJ au tuna technician. Naomba tupeleke kwa slide ya kwanza. Asante. Okay, so my name's Paddy Sianga Knudsen. I come from Zambia. I have lived in Germany for only 1 year. So I'm hoping that my sharing today is going to inspire you to see what a journey to migration would be like. But also, I hope to debunk a lot of what we keep hearing in the social media about what Germany is like and what it's not, as you make the important decisions on whether it's Germany. Today I heard from the booths, there are some considering Netherlands, others are looking to Italy, United Kingdom, other countries. Where are we looking to? Which other countries? Sweden. United States. Good luck. Kwingine? Canada. Any other countries this side? Switzerland. Hapo. Sijui. All right. Now, why do I give this perspective? And we can go to the next slide. Oh, can I move this? Does it take me? No, it doesn't. Okay. So, in short, there's one visa to migrate. Each of us will receives in our passport one visa. But one thing we need to know about Germany is that it is cut into about 16 pieces. And this is very familiar for those of us who live in Kenya because we come from counties. So imagine your county and imagine that that is where a migrant like me, a Zambian like me, would go to. I would go to Kisii, I would go to Busia. You would go to a location, a place, to Nairobi. You don't arrive to Germany, right? You arrive in Germany, but there are essentially 16 possible places plus, because hapo there are villages, there are municipalities, and many other administrative functions. So you move to a place. And why is this important as you make the journey? To realize that Germany is bigger than what we think it is in our heads. And so, if a friend tells you to say, don't worry, I went to Bonn, the process is very easy, and you are going on the other side of Germany to Berlin, that registration process, the administrative process, like we heard from IOM, may be nothing to do with what you faced in Bonn, because each state interprets the law very differently from one place to another. But there are some advantages of this. The disadvantage for those of us who are foreigners is that sometimes it's very difficult to interact with local communities. But still, and I picked this from a website called Make It in Germany. So pick your state and see how you move. We can go to the next slide. Do I manage it? I did. Okay. It's important for us to analyze the numbers. Now, I just wanted to hear from the room, what numbers have you heard since this labor migration agreement was signed? 250,000, 400,000. What other numbers are we hearing? This morning we heard 495, right? So numbers are very important, but numbers need to be analyzed in the context of facts. Why is this important? As we are listening to social media, as we listen to government officials and German officials share these numbers, we need to see what's the text behind the numbers before we move with the hype. Why is this important? Because the number 250,000 and the number 400,000 has been made in reference to jobs that are needed in Germany. But guess what? Not only Kenyans are trying to go to Germany. Look at all the other countries that are trying to get to the 250 and the 400,000 number. So this is important for us to put in context. And so other spaces like Italy, we had Netherlands, United States, Switzerland, and other places where people are wanting to go are all looking for labor. But at the same time, they're looking for labor with many countries. So what are we saying? Understanding the numbers is very important so that as you reach with agents, as you're engaging with recruiters, that you're not duped in thinking you are among the lucky of the 250,000. So having these facts is very important. And so we know that Germany is signing with Ghana, with Morocco, with Nigeria, with Tunisia. Some existing agreements have been there, Colombia, India, and some of these countries are pretty close to where Germany is, and some have even had agreements before. So understanding the facts is very important. Okay. Now, not every migration journey will look the same. I took this picture because I don't know how many of us have been at Qatar Airport. In Qatar Airport in Doha, a lot of us who are Swahili speakers or who come from East Africa feel very welcoming. I would tell you that in the last couple of years, the environment has changed. Why? There are people who look like you and me who have migrated because there have been labor migration agreements that have been signed to move a large number of people to another country. And so when you arrive to the airport, you see it very evident through the East Africans who are providing services and working in security and working around the airport, providing services in the airport. That's a different migration journey when a labor migration agreement has signed. But there are also other agreements that have been signed before. And I took this picture below is a picture of students, and one of them happens to be my colleague in China. So we know that a lot of migration is happening to China. And that migration has a very different face from the migration in Doha. And so I would like you to imagine the picture of what your migration journey will be like. And that's very hard for us to tell because it depends on the sectors, it depends on where you go, it depends also on the kind of opportunities you're going to find yourself in. So it's very important to think about each individual journey may not be the same. We may all have the same visa print in our passports, but the experiences will essentially be different. And I'm going quickly. We've talked a lot about skills, so we know that what is wanted in Germany is hospitality, healthcare, IT, engineering, technical skills. Anything else I've missed? What have you heard is needed in Germany? Which other skills are missing? Drivers are needed. Teachers are needed. Plumbers are needed. Shopkeepers are needed. Everywhere you go, people are needed. Germany, just like many European countries, I think had thought, and this is my thought, that if they replaced robots or machines or IT in a supermarket or in places where people need a service, that that would be a solution. But they're finding out more and more, as we see with many countries, that people are still needed. So there are many other sectors. But as you are making the move to go to Germany, what's important is for you also not to forget your soft skills because there's no one on this earth who is unskilled. And as diaspora organizations, we are working with many other actors, including challenging governments such as Germany and many others within the EU, to say that the reason they don't to ask the reason why they don't recognize the many skills that we already carry. By the way, for countries like the UK, we're even coming from the same institutions that they left during colonial times. And so, why is our English, for instance, not good enough? So, there are a lot of these discussions that diaspora organizations are taking up. And so, it's very important to remember that the soft skills, the other skills that you carry, are important to show on your CVs. If you have facilitation skills, if you have any other skills that don't speak to the technical work that's there, it's important to highlight them because they can come in very handy. I think that's the last slide coming. My last appeal is for you to find your community. Now, finding your community, one would ask, it can be a religious group, it can be within the community. There are a lot of community groups. Germany is a space. You just heard that your president was attending one of a so-called celebration of voluntarism in Germany. They really believe in volunteering. And we also, by the way, do believe in volunteering. If I ask any of you, where were you this Saturday? Most likely you volunteered for a family event, a community event, a church event, a group event, a school alumni event. So that those kind of skills are very important for you to go along. They are also what will keep you connected to the community. Improve your language skills, improve your connection, improve also the perspective that people have around migrants. Yani tusiwe wakimya na wapole. We have to be a little bit more outspoken to show that we're very capable, that we come from somewhere where the sense of community is just as important as it is in Germany. Interest groups are there, professional associations, depending on which profession you're holding on to. African student associations are on the rise. And this is very important because we've realized that if you just go to the students association, sometimes you're not really distinguished. And so Africans have also begun to group themselves because there we share about opportunities, we encourage each other. Issues around racism and discrimination continue to happen across Germany. How do we navigate? Because we've got responsibilities to study, to work, so we cannot leave. And if we're not leaving, how are we surviving so that we see some of the mental health challenges go down? But there are other organizations, and I thought to highlight at least four of them. The African Nurses in Germany, they have a stand just out there for nurses and health professionals. You can have a chat with them. They do a little bit more than recruiting. They're also trying to find out how can they professionalize the African nurse. But also the Kenyan Diaspora Alliance, which is an umbrella body of diaspora organizations. And then there are specific groups like the Kenyan Women in Germany, which has a stand sitting together with IOM that really tries to say, for those women that are migrating, are you trying to find a home away from home? Are you finding it difficult to navigate as a young woman, as a married woman, as a single mom with children, as a divorced woman with children, young, old? What happens? How do I care for my parents? What kind of difficulties do you face while you are navigating the journey of working there? But also other organizations that are really trying to raise the profile of why African migrants are important. So when you go out as an African migrant, an organization called Giving Africa a New Face, which really tries to show the German community that we are not people who arrive in Germany to take, take, take. We're actually contributing socially, economically, and without us, we don't really know where the future of Germany stands. But the last thing to say, as you arrive, it's very important for you to be connected to all this, to register with your embassy. It's not just because something could happen, but it's because this is where you find your sense of community. And I'll end here, moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Nona, Paddy, Jana, thank you so much for that detailed highlight of what is required. Now you see it's beyond language, it's beyond I have a degree, it's beyond I can be able to do this. There's a lot more that you need to consider by the time you make a decision that I actually want to transition. All right, I'll open the floor for questions. I'll open the floor for questions. And the team to kindly help me pass the mic around. I'll open the floor for questions so that we can be able to highlight if there are any issues emerging from the inclusion and inclusivity settling down in Germany. Any questions going once? Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah, hi. My name is Mac, and I've been following these developments of getting students to or people to work in Germany. I worked there a long time ago, and I'm very interested in seeing how I can assist these young people to kind of understand what it is to live there. That said, I think one of the biggest challenges you're facing is actually educating the German public, that they do require these foreign workers. There is a lot of resistance. As you can tell, some people are scoring political points using that anti-immigrant sentiment. But then at some point, the German government probably has to do some civic education to tell the German public these workers are needed and not to see them as enemies or people are coming to take their jobs. They're coming to actually add value.
All right, thank you very much. Any other question? I think that's more of a comment and feedback than a question. Yep, we have a mic coming close to you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brian, and I think my question is more related to what he's asking. And because the process of learning the language is not as easy as you guys have said, is there any measures or are there any procedures over there? Because just as you know that the Germans really appreciate when you can speak the language really well. So maybe you go there, then you're not as eloquent as are there any measures? Since, as he said, we are not just going there, we are going there to help.
Yeah,
Are there any ways to make it a little bit
perfect.
better? Yeah.
Thank you. And put a comma on that question because the next panelist will be speaking about the language requirements. All right. And so I think that is more relevant to the last panelist. But I have a question. You showed us about the talent journey, from the point where you have your consideration all the way, before you settle down on the other end. How long on average does it take from the day I make that decision that I am considering relocating to the point when I am now in Germany settled back? Because I think most of us believe if I get a job opportunity today, I should be able to start next week. So I don't know who can take that from the team. How much, like a rough estimate, how much does the talent journey take between the point of consideration and the point of settlement?
I think, to be honest, it wouldn't be possible for me to to tell you. I think what we wanted to show with the journey that we outlined of the slide is that it is a journey and it entails different phases, and also a very specific aspect that different stakeholders
Yeah.
play different roles in different phases.
Mhm.
And then this also combined with different factors, as we saw on the slide, family members that might be accompanying international talents um, to Germany, for example. I think that was our intention to show with the journey, with the phases. um I don't know if my colleagues
Maybe
want to add.
maybe a quick addition is that I mean the first point for me is that it depends on the visa. And I will say this because a lot of us have seen, I mean, I was just saying to my colleague Jackie here that we work very closely from Kenyan Women in Germany that I come from Zambia. I have never seen such a level of preparedness. And I think a lot of times when we talk about the readiness of the Kenyan youth, it can be very mythical. But just speaking to the few that passed by the booth, the preparation for the people is there in terms of even digging a little bit into the language, even trying to find out and navigate what can the visa system be. And people ask you very clear questions. But I think that no matter how the individual is ready, it the gateway to Germany is the visa. And I think it was very good to hear this morning from Ambassador and all the other German colleagues who've talked about lifting of some of the visa, the language requirements, which we'll hear a bit more, but also what it would take to reform the visa issue, because we see that for us as part of the soft infrastructure that will go into making sure people can take a shorter time, and I don't know what time that is, or a very long time because it takes too long. But I thought what he raised was important because for us as diaspora, who have tried it maybe even in another country, or it's the first time that we have lived as a migrant, what we want to show Germany is that we have agency, that we have left our homes, moved to another country, had to learn a new language, even sometimes a new skill, live a life there, and even support back home. So I think we need to do more of the storytelling from our communities so that the benefits of migration or the benefits of migrants are shown more than the criminality which migration sometimes is attached to. So it's a job that indeed diaspora have to continue to do, to take on together with all other agencies. Thank you.
Fantastic. And we have a video from IOM that we would like to now play. We have a video from IOM that we would like to play. So that will be coming up on your screens shortly, just highlighting and crowning part of the conversation that we've been having this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, media team, we're ready.
Migrating for work is exciting, but preparation is key. From our experience in the diaspora, it's vital to fully understand the steps and your rights before leaving. Make sure you have detailed information about your job, your salary, working hours, and living conditions. This preparation will make a world of difference once you arrive. Avoid paying any fees to recruiters. Many of us in the diaspora have seen firsthand that paying for a job can lead to debts and increased vulnerability. Legitimate recruitment agencies do not charge job seekers for any fees. Always keep your documents safe. Do not give your passport or your work permit to anyone, no matter the circumstances. Holding on to your identification documents will help protect you from exploitation and possible abuse. Ask as many questions as you can before committing, whether it's about your work contract, salary, or living situation. Don't hesitate to ask. If anything seems unclear to you or too good to be true, take a step back. It's better to be cautious than to end up in a difficult situation. Integration takes time, but it's worth it. I have found that becoming part of the local community can be incredibly rewarding. Learning the language, getting involved, and building relationships makes living in Germany much easier and more enjoyable. Beyond just finding a job, becoming part of the community is essential. From our experience, we highly recommend taking advantage of language courses, integration courses, and community centers that host cultural and social events. These and many resources do not only help you understand the culture, but also makes it easier to build a social network and feel more at home. Remember, you're not alone. The Kenyan diaspora in Germany is a strong and supportive network. If you need help or advice, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We've been through this and we are here to support each other, whether it's navigating work or settling in a new country.
All right. Thank you.
Migrating for work.
All right. Thank you so much. We really appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause. Nona Muhammadi, Jana Grebe, and Hadi Sianga. Thank you so much. Really appreciate from the International Organization for Migration. Now, earlier on, I had highlighted about the exhibition booth, and I'm still trying to confirm that now we have the app sound. And so I don't know, Elijah, can you hear me? Elijah, please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, thank you so much, Bindio. Yes, so right here at the exhibition area, it's all systems go as numbers continue to stream in this afternoon. And right now, we are talking of over 1,000 visitors in this particular exhibition area. So allow me to engage one of the visitors this afternoon, who is none other than
Sorry, Elijah, I think we lost you.
Thank you so much, Bindio. Yes, so right here at the exhibition area, it's all systems go as numbers continue to stream in this afternoon. And right now, we are talking of over 1,000 visitors in this particular exhibition area. So allow me to engage one of the visitors this afternoon, who is none other than Zoega Kenya. Kenya, let's go straight into it. How do you find this particular job fair?
I find it quite interactive and very, very informative. And it is something that is definitely worth it. Yeah.
You can give us details in terms of what are some of the things that you did not know and now you are aware of?
Some of the requirements that you actually need to meet to be able to go study or work in German. I think I've gotten a clear breakdown on what I really need, the requirements. Yeah.
So what interests you or what's your line?
My line is business IT. Yeah, that is what I've majored in. Speaking on my side, in the business IT sector, there are so many opportunities that Kenya and Germany has partnered with. Yeah, I really hope for the best. I really hope to find a job. Yeah.
Well, that's Kenya, one of the visitors this afternoon. But what about talking to one of the exhibitors as well? So with me, I have Joyce from SomoServe Management Company. Joyce, thank you so much for your time. So maybe you can start by telling us what SomoServe Management Company is all about.
For us, we are a management consulting company. We specialize in recruitment of workers and training, all job categories, both local markets and international markets, all job sectors. whether it's construction, whether it's healthcare, whether it's mining, maritime. Maritime, we are approved by KMA. And for the jobs on land, we are approved by NEA, who are our regulators, National Employment Authority. So far, so good. We've seen a good turnout. I'm one of the exhibitors here. We've seen a good turnout for both the job seekers and also the international companies. We have the training schools who we also collaborate with when it comes to this immigration process.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's good that we have good numbers, but one may be tempted to ask, are the numbers working for you? Do you have the right candidates?
If the numbers are working for us so far, yeah, so far so good. Also, we also look at the qualification depending on the job category because every job has specific recruitments. Anything you need to know about any labor immigration, we are here to explain everything that you need to know.
Yes, Bindio, that's the look and feel of the exhibition area this afternoon. A very busy day, I must say, both for the exhibitors as well as the participants who are coming in their numbers. And now, because we have limited space, we are streaming this particular event on YouTube. GIZ Kenya is the YouTube channel, and on Facebook is Germany in Kenya. But remember, we also have a website where you can get more information about jobs in Germany, and this is makeitingermany.com. So that's it from this end. Back to you at the conference hall. Take it away.
All right, thank you very much. A warm round of applause, please, to the media and support team for bringing us that coverage of what is happening in the exhibition. What we are saying is there's an opportunity for you to be able to interact with the companies that are here. There are numerous of them, and you can be able to learn a thing or two, be able to pick out what are some of the requirements, what would you require to do as you explore whatever opportunities that we have. But right now, I would want us to go to the last speaker for the day. And the last speaker for the day is going to address the issue about learning German in Kenya. And I'd like to invite Elizabeth Mairura. She's a project coordinator living and working in Germany at the Goethe Institute. Makofi kwake tafadhali.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Could we? Okay, could you please give us the starting? Okay. So my name is Elizabeth Mairura, as our MC Kimanthi Mbindio has just said, and I work at the Goethe Institute. And I specifically work for a project we call Living and Working in Germany. And this is a pre-departure program that supports people who have decided to live and work in Germany. We support them through the entire process, right from the beginning up to the point where they are ready to go. And in addition to that, we also do transition management. So I'm going to go on. So we're going to do a little bit of introspection. So my background is as a teacher. I am trained as a teacher. I was actually one of the German teachers at the Goethe Institute and other institutions in Nairobi. And so I'm going to do something that teachers love to do. Today you are my students, and I invite you to do a little bit of introspection. And if you're an extrovert, you can do a little bit of extraversion. So you can talk to the person next to you and try to think about this. How many languages do you speak? And what languages are these? What circumstances led you to the languages that you speak? And how have these languages affected your experiences, your mentality, your outlook, your worldview, your behavior, and your opportunities? If you can talk to the person next to you for half a minute about the languages you speak and how they have affected you, your life. Okay, so by show of hand, whose neighbor speaks only one language? You've asked your neighbor how many languages they speak. Or you can answer for yourself. Is there anyone here who only speaks one language? Do you speak one language or you were stretching in green? You were stretching. Okay. How many of us speak only two languages? Oh, I did not mean to say only. How many of us speak two languages? Okay, there is one of us. Great. How many of us speak three languages? Ah, okay. Many Kenyans can speak three languages. How many of us can speak four languages? Ah, great. How many of us can speak five languages? Wow. Okay. More than five languages. Okay. So I think you get what I'm trying to say. Each language you speak it's not just a language, it's not just a medium, but it comes with it a lot. It comes with a worldview, it comes with opportunities, it comes with connections. So a language is a world in its own. So my agenda will be short. I know that this is the last presentation of the day and you have endured the long day, so I will not keep you here for long. I'm going to talk about the Goethe Institute, I will talk about our pre-departure program, and I will talk about German language in Kenya. So the Goethe Institute is the globally active cultural institution of the Federal Republic of Germany. That means we are present in many countries all over the world. We are now present in about 150 countries. And we are all about three things: Sprache, Kultur, Deutschland. Remember, my presentation is about learning German in Kenya. So if you do not know any German words, today you've learned three of them. Say after me, Sprache. Sprache. That means, who knows what that means? It means language. So the Goethe Institute, we offer language courses. The next thing we are about is Kultur. Say with me, Kultur. Kultur. We all can guess what that means. Culture. So you see, when you learn a new language, it's not I don't like the word foreign language. New languages are not necessarily foreign. They have words that you can actually understand without having learned the language. You can obviously guess that Kultur is culture, even without having ever sat in a German class. So yes, at the Goethe Institute, we also have a vibrant cultural program whereby we have programs to do with art, music, film, and all those other kinds of cultural expressions. And the last word, let's say together, Deutschland. Deutschland. Yeah, so I think we all know what Deutschland would be. Yes, yes. Deutschland is Germany. So, of course, the German is the Goethe Institute, being the cultural institution the of Germany. We are here also to sort of give people a tiny little bit of a taste of Germany. We give people realistic information about Germany, and we are not here to promise you that Germany is the land of milk and honey, but we give information that is based on facts. And part of what we do in terms of giving information about Germany is the program that I coordinate, which is our pre-departure program. And this is a project from the German government and the European Union in cooperation with the Goethe Institute. It is actually running not only in Kenya, not only in Africa, but basically in all our regions where the Goethe Institute is present. In Sub-Saharan Africa, it has been present since last year, May. And specifically in Kenya, it has been present since last year, June. The Nairobi office is also responsible for Rwanda, Uganda, and Burundi. So we, as I had mentioned before, We offer pre-departure and transition management. That means we support you here. And also, when you get your visa and job contract and you board the plane, we do not drop you like a hot potato, but we have our contemporaries in Germany who we hand you over to, so that, as our lady from IOM has said, you need a network. We do not leave you stranded once you get your opportunity in Germany. So the program provides preparation for day-to-day and work life in Germany while you're still in Kenya. We provide you support in the migration process. We give you a realistic picture of day-to-day living in Germany. We provide you support while dealing with fear and stress. Yes, as the worthy speakers that came before me said, the relocation process can be one that is laden with stress and fear, and you will often need, we are not psychologists, we are not therapists. At some point, we might encourage you to see a therapist if it gets too much, but there are places where you might just need to talk to someone who can give you a different perspective, and we do that as well. So some of the stress and fear comes from lack of information. So when you come to us and we give you correct information, it might help to allay some of your fears. Yes, and I had mentioned before that we also transfer you to transition management. So we have in Germany 6 welcome coaches. And aside from that, we have an entire network of welcome centers that we work in collaboration with, including also migration offices all over Germany that we can refer you to. Suppose you land in Germany and you get stranded and you're not sure what to do about a thing or the other. So our target group, we target people from the age of 18 without an EU passport. And these are people who intend to move permanently to Germany. And we also target apprentices. For instance, people who have just dropped out of, not dropped out, people who just finished school, our Form 4 leavers, and they want to go and do an apprenticeship